Hey everybody, Joseph Christ from 4Player Network coming at you from E3 2013, and I'm here, of course, with Mr. Chris Davis.
That's me.
And we just came out from seeing South Park and The Stick of Truth. Finally, we saw some actual gameplay.
I didn't think this day would ever come.
It would never, ever come. And what's amazing to me is that we were seeing, trailers for it, and the trailers were basically look like clips from the TV show.
It looked exactly like it.
And then we
can't tell.
Yeah, and then we got into the behind closed doors viewing, and playing the game is like playing the TV show.
It is. It's except for the camera angle. I swear to God, you cannot tell the difference move for move without the HUD.
Yeah, if the HUD was gone, you'd think you were watching a TV
Yeah.
show. And one thing that really helps that along is all of the ambient dialogue that seemed to happen. It seemed very natural. It seemed like it was supposed to be there, but it responded to the things that you did. What you should remember, though, is this game is actually an RPG. And it's not just an RPG, it is an old school RPG.
Seriously, we're talking turn-based battles.
Turn-based, old school Final Fantasy type battles, which is amazing. I'm so happy because me personally, I love that type of combat system. And to see it instituted in this South Park game is making me really excited for it.
And it works so damn well.
Yeah. So the idea of the game is that there is LARPing going on in South Park, and there are two teams of LARPers. One is led by Cartman, and the other is led by Stan, I believe.
Stan and
Kyle. You play the new kid in South Park, and then you begin the game. At least it began the demo. We were actually on Cartman's side.
Yeah.
By the time the demo ended, you have to make a choice of do you want to go with Cartman, do you want to go with Stan and Kyle, and that kind of thing. We won't ruin it for you. But all the kids are LARPing, and you're invading this school fortress. And
it's been taken over by Stan and Kyle's elven faction.
Exactly. And what's interesting and fun is that they kind of recreate magical spells and whatnot, kind of the same way you would if you were 10 years old and you were LARPing. So there's one frost spell that at one point you try to put toward the enemy, and to make the frost spell go, he picks up a fire extinguisher and blows the fire extinguisher on the kid.
And that slows down the enemy character.
Exactly. There's another thing where Cartman has this other ice spell, this ice shard spell, and he literally drags a tub of ice onto screen and dumps it over your head. It's actually really, really nice.
Yeah.
One thing about it that I'm a little bit worried about is that it's okay. South Park is sort of dual leveled, right? You have the really like bathroom fart humor kind of up here, but underneath it all, there's really a very witty subtext that goes on. And South Parks are actually very well written if you kind of look past all the fart humor and stuff.
Yeah.
In this game, there seems to be a lot of fart humor, and I'm not really sensing all that undercurrent of wit.
Yeah, I mean, they said it to where you can actually have your character fart forever by just holding down a button.
You can just fart forever, which I think is a Journey song, Fart Forever. It came out in 1978.
Back in
I believe.
1978.
Back in 1978. And you have you're actually known as Dragonborn in South Park, The Stick of Truth, and you have sort of dragon shouts, and the ones they showed us were all made of farts.
Yeah, it's just
there's a lot of
flamethrower attacks.
There's a lot of farting, and I just hope that there's more to this game than just the bathroom humor.
I think there is.
I think there is too, and I think the wit of the way they made the magic spells kind of be recreated in real life by a 10-year-old kid sort of reflects that a bit. But I do want to see more of that. Keep in mind the demo was really short; it was maybe 10, 15 minutes long. Yeah. They tried to show as much as they can, but it does seem like a deep RPG where you have that turn-based old school Final Fantasy combat system. You're looting bodies. You're gaining. So this is kind of fun. You kind of. By doing quests and side quests, you're gaining friends who are parts of factions. When you gain friends...
They'll send you a friend request on Facebook.
Not in real life, but in the game, there's a South Park Facebook.
And they become a companion character that you can call on.
Yeah, and actually the character select screen and the character the character equip screen actually looks like a Facebook screen. And from there, you can get all of your friends on your South Park Facebook page and interact with them that way. So there is some witty stuff. There is some witty stuff that seems pretty cool. There was just a lot of farting.
There was a lot of farting.
A little too much farting.
There was one scene where the main character, your character, goes into the boys' room, sits in the urinal, and just farts out a piece of shit.
Yes.
Then the developer collected the piece of shit and used it as a weapon in a fight against Cartman.
And keep in mind that when he sat in the urinal to take a shit in the urinal, you had to mash the X button enough to get the shit to come out, because maybe he had a bad dinner or
Maybe.
something. He had hung wok like we did the other night, and he had to get it out. We had a sort of a dicey Chinese dinner the other night.
It was of questionable quality.
We were a little worried about it, but everything turned out okay. Thankfully.
Yeah, it was all right.
But anyway, it seems like it's going to be fun. I love the way they went to it with the art style. You know, there's been old South Park games I think we've seen on the PlayStation 2. I
There's
believe.
been a few, and
they've all been like 3D recreations. They tried to do 3D recreations of South Park, and it's never really worked, in my opinion.
No.
I think if you're going to do a South Park game, it has to be like this. You have to recreate the look of the television show.
Yeah, I mean, seeing 3D models for those characters back in the day, not a bad idea, but very poorly executed. I mean,
And it just didn't look right.
there was a South Park 64 game that I swear to God was a first-person shooter.
That's the one
with,
I
like,
think.
snowballs.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, there was, and it was terrible.
Yeah, and there was.
It wasn't
and then
very
there
good.
was Scott Tenorman's Revenge a couple years ago on the Xbox Live Arcade that just did freaking terribly.
Oh, I hardly remember that. Yeah.
So,
But anyway, this one looks like it's going to be good.
It
And
does.
I'm excited about it. I love the RPG elements. I love the old school turn-based tactical battle system, and I'm just glad we finally got to see it.
it's Nolan has been frothing over this game.
Nolan will be a happy man.
He will be so fucking happy. This game, you're gonna want to put money on it.
We actually gave this game one of our Best of E3 awards.
Yeah, we went in there. I was still skeptical about this game because, you know, when it was lost to the whole THQ debacle, there hadn't been a marketing campaign. There have been never any public releases of gameplay or any gameplay that you could tell was actual gameplay.
Well, it was always it's so funny because it was the TV show, but in a way they were showing us the gameplay, weren't they?
They really were.
They really were showing us.
So
the
we go in there and we sit down the front row and they play the demo. And 2 minutes in, I just turned to Joseph and I'm like, okay, they get the Booth Award.
They get this Booth
it.
Award. We had 4, and they got one of them.
Yeah.
It's all good. Anyway, South Park, The Stick of Truth. We've finally seen it. Hopefully at one point you guys will too. And that's all we have for that. So I'm
Yep.
Joseph Christ. Chris Davis coming to you from E3 2013. Make sure you check out our main website, 4playernetwork.com. Lots of content there, and we will see you tonight.
Yeah.